Assalamu alaikum. Again in pajamas. Alright, you can start.
Bashir Big. Bashir Big.
Are you good?
Good.
Go back, let's watch.
Sing it.
My hardest. When I first met you, almost you was a little bit bigger than him. Subhanallah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى اللهم وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Sayyidina Suleiman alayhi salam, one of the amazing stories, which is the story of Sayyidina Suleiman alayhi salam, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a kingdom or a kinship, that kingdom that he didn't give to anyone before him nor after him. One of the greatest. It was narrated that Sayyidina Suleiman, when he finished the building of Bayt al-Maqdis, you know, Bayt al-Maqdis was built, according to our historians, by Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam, the time of Yaqub alayhi salam, because between the building of al-Kaaba and al-Masjid al-Aqsa, Bayt al-Maqdis, is 40 years. That's in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And it says that Sayyidina Yaqub, who is the father of Ishaq, who is the son of Ishaq alayhi salam, he's the one who built it. And then there is a king who came to Jerusalem and demolished it. Suleiman, when he came, he actually rebuilt it and rebuilt it even bigger and better. The Masjid al-Aqsa. And Sayyidina Suleiman, after he finished, remember Sayyidina Ibrahim when he finished building al-Kaaba? Him and his son made a dua. صح, right? After the finish, ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. That's the dua. So Anbiya, when they do something for Allah Azza wa Jal, at the end of their good deeds, they raise their hands and make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First of all, that Allah Azza wa Jal accept from them, and then they make other dua. Like we've seen with Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. In this case, Sayyidina Suleiman, after he built the Bayt al-Maqdis or Masjid al-Aqsa, then he made a dua. And he requested from Allah Azza wa Jal or dua for three things. He said, "Oh Allah, make my hukm, my verdict, the same as yours." And Allah Azza wa Jal gave him that. He granted him that request. So usually when we will see it, Sayyidina Suleiman, always his hukm is almost perfect. Because it's the same as the hukm of Allah Azza wa Jal. Second, he said, "Oh Allah, grant me a mulk, a kingdom that should not be given to anyone else." And Allah Azza wa Jalla said, "Yes, give it to him." Gave it to him. And then he said, "Oh Allah, grant me another request, which is that everyone who makes wudu in his house and comes and prays in Masjid al-Aqsa, forgive all of his sins from the beginning of his birth, like make him a newborn." Allah Azza wa Jalla did not accept that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not accept that. He did not grant him that request. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he narrated this hadith, he said, "Inni arjullah." I wish that Allah will give that to us. But Allah Azza wa Jalla, we don't know if it is granted or not, even to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, "Inni arju." I ask Allah, I hope, I wish that this will happen with our ummah, or the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, meaning that you pray in al-Aqsa and then you come back as if you were newborn from sayyi'at or bad deeds. So it's a hukm, it's a great mulk, Sayyidina Suleiman alayhi salam. Let's look at some of the aspects of the mulk of Sayyidina Suleiman before we move to, first of all, we have talked about it last time, Sayyidina Suleiman, the things that he was given, no one else, al-rih. He was in control of the wind. Imagine that Sayyidina Suleiman goes to the wind and tells the wind, "Move this cloud to such part and rain on it." Imagine that a human can do that. Allah Azza wa Jal gave him the control of rih. Allah Azza wa Jal gave him power over all of the jinn. He can hire them for work. He can punish them. Full control of al-jinn and shayateen and everybody, all of this creation. Allah Azza wa Jal, like we said, gave him also al-fahm. His verdict is, like I said, even better than his father's verdicts. His father is a Nabi too. Sayyidina Suleiman, last time when we start talking about the queen of Sheba, Balqis, her name is Balqis. And I think we stopped at the point where, maybe just to review the thing, that Sayyidina Suleiman, by the way, and another thing that Allah Azza wa Jal gave him the control, gave him mantiq al-tayr. He understands the language of birds, animals, everything. We've seen the story between him and the ant, and the army of the ant.
Al-Makhluq.
Huh?
Al-Makhluq.
Al-Makhluq, I don't know. But at least what's like the birds, the animals, the human of course, and the jinn. But Al-Makhluq is a different, it's bigger than that. But subhanallah, Sayyidina Suleiman, one day, while he was actually checking his army, and his army is not a regular army. It's not an army of F-16 or tanks, or no, it's actually an unbelievable army. No one has such an army before, no one will have such an army after, period. It was granted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sayyidina Suleiman, one of these days, he's checking his army, and then he saw that a hudhud, the hippo was missing. I've talked about this before. The hippo was missing. Then he said, where's the hippo? And if he doesn't show up with a valid excuse, he's going to be slaughtered or punished. The hippo showed up, and he told him in a very polite yet very audacious way that I have known what you don't know. Meaning there is a matter that you're not aware of, but I am. Which is, I have found people in Yemen, in Saba, who are ruled by a woman, and not only that, but they are worshipping the sun. Sayyidina Suleiman was actually surprised, shocked that in this world, humans who are created by God, but they worship the creation of God. Not only that, but it looks like in their tradition at that time, women did not rule. So he was shocked by that. So, but what he said, okay, I'll check if you're saying the truth or you're not saying the truth. But he told him, take a letter to the king, to the queen. The letter to the queen, it was very actually simple language. First of all, is innahu min Suleiman. It is from Suleiman. Innahu bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, which is bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. That you come to me, Muslimin. That you need to enter under my kingdom. You cannot. Muslimin under the kingdom, and Muslimin to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Two things. That's the Allah ta'ala alayya atuni muslimin. That's what Sayyidina Suleiman wants to. And subhanallah, the hippo also noticed something else. He came with three things. That they are worshipping other than Allah, which is they're worshipping the sun. They are ruled by a woman, and that she had a huge throne, beautiful throne, amazing throne. The throne in the Arabic language is al-arsh, which is where the kings they sit on, something like a very fancy, not a chair, but they can sit on it, they can lay on it, something that it's. And hers was made out of pearls, jewelry, gold, something amazing. It was, the hippo was amazed by her throne. But subhanAllah, if you read the ayat, the hippo, even if he's an animal and a bird, when he mentioned the arsh or the throne of Balqis, he said, how can they worship other than the Lord of the heavens and the earth, who has a greater throne? So he's telling himself, no matter how big and how good is the throne of Balqis, the throne of Allah Azza wa Jal is much, much better. So he's basically reminding himself as a bird. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. And we have seen actually the tasarruf or the behavior of the queen. She looks like she was the most wise person in her place. She told them, what do you think? I have received a letter. They told her, we're ready. If you want war, we're ready. But the last word is going to be yours. For her, actually, she said, I'm going to test this king. How I'm going to test this king? I'm going to send him gifts and see how he's going to reply. If he replies that, Wallahi, I'm going to accept the kings, accept that bribe, and you just do whatever you want, I'll stay here, then khalas, he's not. But if, let's see. Indeed. By the way, the ulama, they said actually because Suleiman told the hippo, throw the letter to her and wait and watch what they're going to do and listen. Some of the scholars, they say actually the birds understand the language of humans. Some of the scholars, I don't know how strong is this, but from this, because is it just the case of that bird in the time of Sayyidina Suleiman, or is it the case of all birds? They understand what the human.
They understand Urdu, Pashto, and all.
Depends where they live.
What about migratory birds?
Huh?
What about birds that migrate?
They're bilingual. That's a good question, actually.
Yeah, you said so.
No. I like that because when they said it, I said, but I didn't think about it that way. So maybe the birds, they speak all their languages.
Depend area.
Yeah.
Depend area.
Yeah.
Birds talk.
They
That's a good-
migrate too, you know.
But that's a good catch. Thank you. You're still
Still young.
still young.
Another good catch, I will just, excuse me please.
Yes.
Arsh means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala arsh or any arsh.
Huh?
Because arsh,
The throne.
the throne. I mean, Allah ta'ala says that He created world in 10 days and gone on throne like arsh. So
Yeah.
that's the common or only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's throne is called arsh.
No, it's arsh is common to all kings. They have arsh. Usually, all the kings they have arsh, but arsh from arsh of Allah Azza wa Jalla is unique and nothing is like it. So you're not going to look at the arsh of a king here and say. That's why the hudhud, actually the hippo, when he mentioned her arsh, he reminded himself about the arsh of Allah Azza wa Jalla. That is nothing compared to al-arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reasoning behind Balqis, why did she say, I need to test? Why didn't she say, you guys, okay, you're strong, let's fight? And she actually mentioned something, قالت إن الملوك إذا دخلوا قرية أفسدوها وجعلوا أعزة أهلها أذلة وكذلك يفعلون. She said that basically she's saying, I'm worried about one thing. What's the thing? She said, I'm worried about the kings. She said, I know the nature of the kings. When they enter any new land or occupy a land or conquer a land, the first thing they will do, they'll destroy everything. Or they spread mischief in the land. Second they do, which is actually concerning her, is that they will humiliate those who are dignified among their people. Meaning, I don't want to take that risk. I don't want to go into war with someone, then I'll become humiliated at his hands. Because she doesn't know who's this guy, who's Suleiman. Indeed, she sent him gifts. When she sent him gifts, Suleiman, when he received the hadiyah, فَلَمَّا جَاءَ سُلَيْمَانُ قَالَ أَتُمِدُّونَنِي بِمَالٍ. He said, what are you doing? You're sending me gifts. I'm telling you, come to me Muslims, and you're sending me gifts. Take your gifts and go back. Because Allah Azza wa Jal has gave me what you cannot even imagine. So I don't need your gifts. You cannot bribe me with some valuable and expensive stuff. And they went from Yemen, Saba, which is in Yemen, all the way to Al-Quds, Jerusalem. They turned and they told them, go back and I'll tell you more on that. I'm refusing the gift and I'll tell you more. Irja' ilayhim. For what? And tell them that if they don't reply to my letter and come to me, Muslims, and submitting to my rules, then I will send them junud, an army. They cannot bear fighting this army. And indeed, actually, when you look at Suleiman, and who's going to fight the birds and the jinn? Who's going to fight the jinn? Who of the earth, then, today, or in the future, if someone has an army of jinn, can fight? You can't. It's لا قبل لهم بها. هنا سيدنا سليمان said لا قبل لهم بها ولنخرجنهم منها أذلة وهم صاغرون. And he actually indeed said that if we go to that point of war, those who are, they will be humiliated. Like she said. Then when they arrived, they went back to her. Allah Azza wa Jal, now Sayyidina Suleiman. Sayyidina Suleiman in his majlis. You know majlis? Who doesn't know majlis?
This is Majlis.
These guys, they don't know majlis. I know that. You know majlis. Majlis is a council. The council. So the meaning of a council. The meaning of a council of Sayyidina Suleiman is from dawn to dhuhr. Always. He meets with his advisors, those Sayyidina Suleiman, an idea came to him. What's the idea? Well, he remembered that the hippo told him that she has a great throne. So Sayyidina Suleiman said, okay, I want to show her that the queen that she's not, she's dealing with something different this time. Who among you can bring me her throne? قال أيكم يأتيني بعرشها قبل أن يأتوني مسلمين. He said, look at it. And the travel between Yemen and Al-Quds is probably 1 month, maybe more, to travel. So Sayyidina Suleiman is asking that someone bring him the throne from Yemen to Al-Quds, to Jerusalem, before they arrive. Two things here. It looks like as if Sayyidina Suleiman is sure that they will come and submit to the kingdom of Sayyidina Suleiman. That's one. Second, that he wants to prove something else to her, that I have extra power from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ifrit is the jinn. It's actually the most the strongest of al-jinn, if you wish. He said, oh, the Suleiman, Nabi Allah, I can bring it to you, not before they arrive, rather before you close the meeting today. Before you adjourn the meeting, it should be in front of you. Which is, still Sayyidina Suleiman did not, a person who, قبل أن تقوم مقامك إني عليه لقوي أمين. He said, I will bring it to you and I'm strong and I can do it. It's guaranteed. And I am honest. I'm trustworthy. I'm not going to steal any gold or pearls or whatever from it. So it's going to be the same. I'm going to bring it to you. قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب. And subhanallah, this is telling you the importance of knowledge. Give me that. Nothing. I want to say something, but قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب. The one who has knowledge of the book. Mufassirun, those who do the tafsir, they said there is two interpretations. One of them is actually it's Jibreel alayhi salam was there, which is actually not the strongest, it's the weakest explanation. The other one is that it was a scholar of the people of Bani Israel, but he had a secret. His secret that he knew Ismullah al-A'zam, the greatest attribute or name of Allah Azza wa Jal. And the Prophet ﷺ said about this, that Ismullah al-A'zam alladhi